It was a cold, foggy night in the winter of 1990. Preeti, a college student, had just moved into a small apartment in an old building. The rent was cheap, and she couldn't resist the charm of the antique architecture. From the moment she moved in, Preeti felt an eerie presence. The apartment had an oppressive atmosphere, and she often heard strange noises, such as footsteps, whispers, and creaking doors. Despite feeling uneasy, she brushed it off as her imagination running wild. One night, as she was studying for her final exams, Preeti heard a faint knock on her door. She hesitated, but eventually got up to check. To her surprise, there was no one there. She shrugged it off and went back to her desk, but the knocking continued, growing louder and more insistent. Determined to catch the prankster, Preeti quickly opened the door and stepped into the hallway. It was empty. Frustrated and a bit scared, she locked the door and returned to her room. As she sat down, she noticed something chilling. A note on her desk that read, "Stop looking for me." Her heart raced. She hadn't left her desk long enough for anyone to enter her apartment. Panic set in, and she called her friend Rajni to come over. Rajni arrived and reassured her, but the feeling of being watched persisted. Over the next few days, the disturbances escalated. Objects moved on their own, lights flickered, and the feeling of being watched grew. One night, Preeti woke up to the sound of heavy breathing next to her bed. She turned on the light, but no one was there. Terrified, she decided to stay with her friend Rajni until she could find a new place. Before leaving, Preeti decided to do some research on the building's history. She discovered that a previous tenant, a recluse named Ravi, had disappeared under mysterious circumstances. Neighbors reported strange occurrences similar to what Preeti had experienced. Determined to get to the bottom of it, Preeti and Rajni returned to the apartment one last time to gather her belongings. As they were packing, they heard a chilling whisper, "I'm still here." They froze and turned to see a shadowy figure standing in the hallway. Without a second thought, they grabbed what they could and fled the apartment, never to return. Preeti moved to a new place, but the experience haunted her for years. She always felt a lingering presence, as if Ravi's spirit had followed her. Even now, she occasionally hears whispers in the night, reminding her of the uninvited guest who once shared her home.